OnEBoard's Tech Topic 34. There's 3 tech tips in 10 minutes. I'm Peggy K, and I'm joined today by Bob Danley and Nina Trankova. Bob, can you start with your tech tip for the week?
For sure. In fact, it's going to be kind of a brief overview of Google Gemini. And I know you folks have probably been thinking about, how can I use this? Well, let me help you out here today, folks. You can create icons with text prompts using Gemini. It's pretty straightforward. On the left, you can see one of my first tries at this. I just entered a prompt here, the vector icons for 4 or 5 different kinds of fauna: butterfly, dragonfly, wildflower, lichen, and but ultimately, when you're using this, we want to know what AI should be doing. And there's a really good quote from a fellow by the name of McGregor, who published an article in Forbes recently. And he stated, users don't have to ask to use a skill, rather they can ask Gemini to complete a particular task. Now, there's a big difference. It may be in your mind that when you go to Gemini, you just want to get something that you can further polish. Essentially, we want AI to go beyond that. We want it to basically provide us with a finished or polished product from text-based prompts, because in some cases, it's going to be as much work as if you did it from scratch. So the best results requires you to direct the Gemini or AI with a lot of forethought, and then have that vision in your mind. What is it that you want it to create? So you need to use comprehensive and descriptive language in the prompt, okay? Sometimes Gemini can't fulfill a request, but it will provide an alternative answer. As you can see on the right-hand side here, it told me that it couldn't create an AI file, which is an Adobe Illustrator file, but it provided directions on how to go into Illustrator and actually create the icon I requested. So that's kind of funny. And when you do prompts, here are the variables you want to think about. Now, I'm into wildlife, so my requests are going to be pretty specific, but yours could be somewhat matching this. You want to know, hey, if you're going to create an icon, what's its destination? Is it going to be on a business card? Is it going to be on an 8x10 sheet of paper? Is it going to be on your website? Because that's going to determine what size you need to make it, okay? Colors. Do you want to incorporate your brand colors in that icon? And you can do that pretty easy within Gemini. File type. Should you ask Gemini to create a PNG, which is a transparent background, or do you want a JPEG in which you can actually cut it out of? And of course, the one really powerful thing about Gemini, it can create a lot of different image styles. It can be photorealistic, charcoal drawings, watercolors, paintings, cartoon illustrations. This is all very valuable. So how do you start? You go to that URL, gemini.google.com, and it's free at this particular using this particular URL. This is using my desktop. You log in with your Google account, and this is what the landing page looks like. So the layout is such that the recent prompts are in the upper left-hand corner here of what you have asked recently. You can always revisit it and, of course, edit those results. Help and settings is in the lower left-hand corner. Suggestions to get you going are right here front and central. And the prompts and or to these icons to upload an image or to add voiceover is here in the lower right-hand corner. So the process, again, is you enter a prompt, text prompt, up on the top of the page here. You can see I ask it to create individual vector icons measuring 128 by 128 pixels representing those 5 different groups of plants and animals. And these are the results I got. And you can see that some of it, they're mostly, I don't know, I guess you would say that they're line drawings, but some of them look like they're not separate. And that's what I didn't want. So you would need to further edit it by either editing the prompt text to generate new images, or you could do textless edits, and that's done by clicking on this little icon at the bottom below the results, and you'll have 5 options. You can make it shorter, long. I don't know exactly what that means by shorter or longer, but simpler would mean that whatever icon that you chose, it would simplify it. More casual and more professional. I clicked on the more professional, and you can see the results on the right-hand side here. Now, once you go through the various iterations until you find or you get something that you really like or would work for you, you want to right-click on the single images to download as a PNG or a JPEG. And that's necessary for maintaining file size. If you allow it to download all the images it created, you won't get that. And just remember that, hey, what might be a long time in creating icons, via trial and error, is still going to be much briefer and less work than making all these things from scratch. So here's a list of references for further reading, to get you a little bit more up to snuff on this. And just remember, this is what I just gave you is a brief snapshot of the current iteration of Gemini. No doubt the way it works will evolve, and it will probably be frequently changed. So don't get too high or don't get too low. It's going to get better over time, okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bob. That's really interesting. Maybe you could stop sharing your slideshow so we could go full screen. I wanted to mention that that was a ton of information. Those references look really useful. So what we will do is make a post on the OnEBoard news site that has all the detailed information and your tutorial. Okay, thank you so much. Nina, what is your tip for this week?
Thank you, Peggy. Peggy, thank you, Bob. I don't know. Are you satisfied with how it is working after using it? Yeah, it's a great presentation, but I was wondering if you have a personal satisfaction.
Oh, yeah, no, I the advice I gave is what I really believe. It's still in the baby, it's taking baby steps right now. And that when it generates things, it's still not really perfect. Sometimes it will really shock you with really excellent drawings, and it really depends on what you ask for. So
okay.
you really need so in many cases for doing my postings, I'm looking for like line drawings, which are basically scientific. Yeah, they're kind of minimalist, and they are really precise and meant to be very descriptive, very visual. So you just look at it and instantly you know what I'm talking about. So
yeah, I think it was important for me to ask you because I'm following you. I know your beyond excellent photography work by observing the wildlife. So it's precious to have your presentation and attitude towards the technology. It's with big understanding how it moves. Thank you. So my tip this week is about in Google for Work. All work accounts have price increase last week. Today is 25th of February. And my tip is about Google AppSheet, because of the price increase, we are going to use Gemini extensions for work, which is an extra price. And we pay higher price already, but we get Google AppSheet included in work accounts. And so that's my tip. Go to the links in the video and try using AppSheet to start producing better, faster, and more automated workflows, and of course, apps without coding. I'm excited to try this with our crew and see what it will give us. I just received this email a few days ago. I started the project and we are going to collaborate on it. So give you more tips later. But that's it. AppSheet is free of charge for work accounts. Use it. Thank you.
That sounds like it will be really interesting to try out, Nina. I hope we can think of some really useful projects that increase our productivity. So my tip for this week is to remember that the internet may not be forever. And so if you have posted content online that's important to you, be sure to make a backup and keep a copy for yourself. That's the short version. The longer version is that this week, the news media site Vice decided it's going to stop news reporting. And for reasons I don't totally understand, they decided to delete the Vice.com website completely. Now, Vice has done a bunch of original journalism, really deep investigative pieces, and a lot of the journalists, of course, use that on their resumes. You know, they say, look, you know, I had this great piece published. Here's the link to it. What happens when the website is deleted? Wow. And I think there's a lot of people who warn, oh, the internet is forever. You post stuff, it could be there forever, which is true. But the flip side is the site where your content is posted could go down tomorrow. In this case, they got basically tipped off the same day they were going to take down the website. So these journalists were all scrambling to try and add it to the Wayback Machine, which you can do. It will make a copy of web pages in there, or to just export the data, make a PDF, and so forth. So anything that's important to you that you post online, make sure you have a separate backup so that if it disappears, it's not gone forever. That's my tip for this week.
Thank you, Peggy. And that comes with my mission. Being professional online means having the knowledge and navigating from your own domain, keeping all your content, backing up, and using the programmatic solutions. So we will be back on 10th of March. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and
thank you, everyone.
The links in our blog.
That's right. Thank you.
Bye-bye. That was